What's up everybody, Crow here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be comparing the 2024 C8 Z06 against my 2016 C7 Z06. Now, the question of today is the C8 Z06 almost $100,000 more worth it than the prior gen C7Z? Let's find out. The 2024 C8 Z06 is a V8 naturally aspirated flat plane crank with no forced induction, making 670 horsepower. The C7 Z06 is a cross plane crank with a supercharged 650 horsepower motor. Now, which one is better? How did they drive? Let's find out. So if you're not aware, the C8 Z06 only comes in a dual clutch transmission. There is no manual option, but do not let that turn you off from getting this car. This car is incredible. It's day and night different than the C7 Z06. Now, a lot of people always ask me, which one do you prefer? That's such a hard question to answer, but I'm gonna give you my real honest opinions about both and why I like this car and why I like that car. For the spec options of this car, we got the Sky Cool Gray interior with carbon fiber. It's very nice. It really complements the Amplify orange exterior. And new for 2024, we got these bronze wheels that just look absolutely gorgeous with the orange brake calipers and carbon ceramics. New for 2024 and up Z06s, Chevy finally added a automated frunk opener. So on the headlights underneath, if you press and hold this, the frunk will open. 2023s did not have that. It's not a big deal, but if you're going to be spending all this money on a Z06, try to get the 2024 model. Now, with the C7 Z06, it is a front-end engine. It's not a mid-engine like the C8. It is more fishtail-y, I like to call it. It's way more of an animal. It gets way crazier when you step on it. And a lot of people ask me which one's funner to drive. To be honest with you, this one, especially when you pair it with a 7-speed manual. Now, coming into the interior, it's not as nice as the C8, but it still looks really good. You guys can see we also have some carbon fiber bits in here, the 7-speed manual transmission, heated and cooled seats, so it is a very comfortable ride nonetheless. One benefit of the C7 over the C8 is the trunk space. If you're gonna be driving and hauling a lot of things and going on vacations with your girlfriend or wife, the C7 is a better car for that. So you guys can see the trunk space is huge. I do all my Costco shopping in this car. With the C8, it is a little bit different. You have a rear trunk, which is a lot smaller, but you also have pretty spacious frunk too. But again, if you're gonna be carrying larger items, I do prefer the C7 space. It's a lot more convenient, but the frunk is a benefit if you do a lot of carry-out food, you wanna keep your food warm. It gets really hot in here. Now, in my humble opinion, I do prefer the C7 rear over the C8. You guys can see the C8's a really nice car, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the C7 Z06, it just has a more angular lines. It just looks more cleaner. But nonetheless, this is still a really sick car. I did opt for the hardtop convertible only because it's really nice to have the ability to put the roof down and listen to that engine note and exhaust note more. The engine is right here, it's hidden so you can't see it. But I do like to drive with that rear window down because you don't get a lot of wind resistance. You keep the front windows up, back windows down, and you can listen to that exhaust all day. Now that we got the basics out of the way and the specifications, let's go take both on a drive, and I'm gonna really tell you guys the differences between this car and what I like about them. All right, now that we're in the C8 Z06, let's go ahead and talk about this car. Coming from a manual C7 Z06, I'm telling you, the C8 Z06 is a different animal. It sounds crazier, it pulls hard. Even though it has less torque, this car is still stupid fast. Now, I will say, the manual C7 Z06, it is more fun to drive, I won't lie. It wants to get more loose on you. It's like a chained tiger. It's just wanting a fishtail, wanting to crash. You get more adrenaline from the C7. If we talk strictly about daily driving, which one's more comfortable and which one's more daily usable, I will say the C8 Z06. I daily drove my C7Z for 5 years and it was great. You know, it was comfortable. It was a little sketch on the rain. I had to be more careful, but this car does it all. One major concern I had about buying this car was there is a lot less torque than the manual C7Z, obviously because of the supercharger. That one is 650. So I was kind of worried, will this car feel less fast? Will there be more low-end torque? And honestly, it doesn't feel that way. This car still feels super quick, just like my C7, but you can at least put the power down in this car. In the C7, it always wanted to spin the tires. So unless it's super hot outside, you really weren't able to like use the full power potential of that car. But this car, you literally floor it and it'll take off like a rocket. One thing I highly recommend you do if you're gonna spec out a C8 Z06 or just find one off the lot, make sure it has a front axle lift and also the front cameras. I think this is a 2LZ and up option. This is so important to have. You don't wanna like clip your splitter, so make sure you guys get this. It's a game changer. My C7 Z06 also has that. And you know, it's a shame. A lot of supercars nowadays, they don't come with these front cameras, and it's so important. Some people just don't want to back up all the time, like back into a spot. So these front cameras are a life changer. So the C8 Z06, it's so comfortable. The C7 also is very comfortable, but this has the edge to that. And honestly, it just feels nice, you know, like this tight cabin, you feel comfortable, you feel cozy. You do have cooled and heated seats. You do have a heated steering wheel. One thing I do love about the new C8 Z06 is you get a digital rearview mirror. As you guys can see, you can flick it on and off, but it really helps with the blind spots. You don't really have to like look over your shoulder as much. You can have a clear view of everything, and you get blind spot monitoring. So when a car does come by, an orange light turns on. These are things, little creature comforts you don't get in the C7. It's not a big deal, I can live without them, but it's just nice knowing that Chevy took a big step up in the tech game and really made this car usable. This car is very dailyable. You know, like a lot of supercars you can't daily, but with this car, it does it all. You don't have to worry too much. We will talk about issues though. So, 2 issues I have with this car. There's 3,000 miles on it. The first issue I have is the center console button. It pops out. It's broken. It's a very common problem that has to get replaced. I don't know why. The second issue many people have is the front axle lift acts up. You'll get a notification, service front axle lift, service front axle lift. But a lot of people did have their front axle lift break, so they had to get a whole new replacement. So it is reliable, but it's still on the iffy side. Everything is still so new. But with the 2024s, I feel like they are a little bit more reliable than the 23s. You always want to avoid the first model year of any car. With the convertible C8 Z06, it's really nice because if you push down this button, you can see the roof will come down. And I was never a convertible guy. I never liked convertibles, especially the soft tops, you know. But the fact that Chevy GM made a hardtop convertible, it looks so good, it's so quick. You can see, I think maybe 12 seconds it did all that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do some pulls in this car so you guys can hear how it sounds with the roof down. This is stock, by the way. Nothing was modified. This is how this car should be driven. Don't baby your cars. You gotta really drive them. Life's short. This car spoils you. Going back to the C7, it sounds really good, but nowhere near as loud and as good as this. I feel like this is the only car that I've ever bought where I felt like I never had to touch the exhaust. I never had to modify it. It just sounds perfect. Dude. Straight up sounds like a Ferrari. I had so many people tell me that. And also, the shifts are so quick.
I think I shat myself.
Right? Sheesh! Yo! If you guys are in a midlife crisis, you have issues in life, just buy this car. Nothing else matters. Just buy this car, live your life, take yourself a vacation, and enjoy. This was filmed in Tijuana, Mexico, by the way. We're not in the States, so let me put that out there. Alright guys, now we're in the C7 Z06. Like I said earlier, if you're gonna get this car, get it in the manual. As you guys can see, if I step on a little bit, See, we already spun tires right there. And I'm telling you, this is really fun. This car is an animal. This car wants to get loose. This car just like wants to get rowdy. The comfort is still there. You know, you don't get the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's like you do on a C8. These are run flats, so you only get like maybe 12,000 miles on these tires before you gotta change them. So they do wear out quick. And in the rain, it is sketch to drive this car. You do feel a little bit of that extra torque compared to the C8 Z, but again, unless the tires are really hot, you will spin. So the real question is the C8 Z06 worth that extra 80 to 100,000 over the C7 Z06? Now, I'm gonna be honest, that's a really hard question to answer. I wanna say yes because the experience is just 10x more, but I wanna say no because this car you can get for 65 to 70,000 and you still have like the same kind of level of speed, level of fun and everything. But truth be told, nothing touches a C8 Z06 in that price range. If you want something similar to that, you're gonna have to go for like a Lamborghini Huracan, which retails for like 300,000, so double of the Z06. It's really hard to beat the Z06, and I've driven everything. I've driven the 992 GT3, I've driven the Audi R8 V10 Plus, I've driven the Shelby GT500s, I've driven a lot of performance cars, and the Z06 at that price point is so hard to beat. So yes, I do think it is worth it, but if you just want to have like a fun weekend car and you want to keep your price under 100K, this car is good. Fun thing about this car, you just drop a gear, disappear. Damn, that's what I'm. All right, you know what?
Filmed in Mexico, by the way.
Tijuana. We're in Tijuana. We're not in California. We're not in the States. Here's a problem. I tell everyone this. If I had to sell this car to get the C8 Z06, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. I love the C8 Z06, but I can't sell this car. I have so much love for this car. I trade cars like I trade shoes or buy new shoes. For me, every year I want to get a new car. This car's been in the stable for 5 years and for a very good reason. So if you're a guy who has a C7 Z06 in manual and you want to upgrade to the C8 Z06, I will 100% say with utmost confidence, you will miss this car. You will miss the manual, you will miss the supercharger. This car is just incredible. It's really hard for me to get rid of this car. I can't. So as good as the C8 is, for me, I need to keep this car. And I did everything in my power to be able to have both, and I'm very blessed and grateful to have both. So yeah, guys, that sums it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like below, comment below. Let me know if you have any questions. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.